Hey guys, and welcome to another Gunpla TV review. This time we are looking at the Re-Rising Gundam from Gundam Build Divers Re. Wow, that was a mouthful. Anyway, this is not a kit on its own, at least not yet, but this is a combination of 4 different kits from the Gundam Build Divers Re series. This is the Core Gundam 2, as you can see from the Yurivan Gundam set, the Valkylander, the Wodom Pod, and the recently released Aegis Knight. You probably already know the deal with this. Long story short, this is a combination of all 4 kits into one ultimate mode that the Core Gundam takes hold of. And this final form is what finally defeats the main bad guy of the series. Now, you don't use every single part from all the kits, but you are looking at almost the whole thing for the Core Gundam except for the normal hands. You are using the chest pieces and backpack and legs from the Aegis Knight. You use the entirety of the Wodom Pod here, actually, including the blue parts that are included with the kit. You use the crest, the V-fin crest, the feet, the gun, and the backpack from the Valkylander. And to top it all off, you also use 2 beam swords. These are the flat type beam swords. I think these come standard with the Core Gundam 2. So assembly is straightforward, but not exactly easy. A lot of these pieces, while they do come together, some of them work really well, and some of them kind of are loose and wonky and are hard to keep together. For example, the chest piece in the front kind of attaches, but there's nothing really to keep it into place, so that can fall off at any moment. But the V-fin, on the other hand, just snaps right into place like any of the other crests that you'd get from any of the other planet system armors. The legs from the Aegis Knight attach to the arms of the Core Gundam, and this looks okay, except for they are a little bit oversized, so the arms do tend to fall over. The entire base of the Re-Rising Gundam is the Wodom Pod, except for the gun in the back, which is the Valkylander's gun, and so there's a really heavy and sturdy base here, so at least it's not going to be falling over too often. The shoulder armor also kind of suffers from some wonkiness, but this is more or less due to the fact that the Aegis Knight's pauldrons are a bit loose. But the Valkylander's wings attach pretty nicely. There's an adapter for that here. There's also an adapter to attach the Wodom Pod to the Core Gundam. And lastly, another adapter that attaches the Valkylander's gun to the base of the Wodom. All of these adapter pieces are included with the Aegis Knight kit. Our articulation is basically how it was with any of these kits on their own. There's a lot of moving parts here, which is great because you can do some cool poses, ideally, but the fact that everything kind of fits together so loosely, it's kind of scary to move it. It feels like something's going to fall off at any moment. I would say this mode feels more like an afterthought, but that's really not surprising, as these kits really should stand on their own as separate kits before anything else. So this is really just a nice added bonus if you happen to buy all 4 kits. Say you're a big fan of Gundam Build Divers Re and you want it all. This is a nice little additional touch for you guys. In my personal opinion, I think this thing looks a little goofy. Obviously, because these are all separate kits, the color scheme really clashes and some of the design really clashes as well. Because the Wodom Pod's pieces are so large, it looks a little bottom heavy. I do like the way the Core Gundam looks with the V-fin, the Aegis Knight's chest, and the shoulder pieces. The arms also look really nice too. So I feel like they had a good idea going, but the execution wasn't as nice as I would have hoped. Still, if you happen to have all 4 kits, it's worth giving this a shot. It's fun to build, and you can always take it back apart later on and put your kits back together. It's just a nice little extra touch, and I'm never going to say no to little additional bonuses like this if you happen to have all the kits. In addition to this, if you like the design of this, I believe Bandai is actually making a new version of all 4 kits in one set where they are gold, because in the show they actually turn gold when they're doing their final moves. So that one looks a little bit nicer to me because the color scheme all matches for all the pieces. So everything's gold, and that looks a little bit nicer. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I think that's coming out in September or October, and that will have every single kit required to do this, but with the proper color scheme. But yeah, that's about it for this quick Gunpla TV review, and I will catch you next time.